So our first ever May Idiot of the Month award. We've never done this before. Can I ask you a question? You're a common fan. Remember I told you a few months ago about how John Czechia messed up the Arizona Coyotes for promoting, when he was GM, for promoting player assessment outside of the regular NHL assessment camps, okay? Now, off the top of your head, who is the coach of the Arizona Coyotes? They're moved to Utah. Can you tell me who the head coach of this team is? I'm waiting. Well, we're going to know him from now on. He decided to bench Connor Bedard. He's having a bad last couple of games at the World Championships. He had a kind of a rough game against Czechia, took a tough penalty. And this is the number one 18-year-old player in the world, and this fucking piece of shit benched him. Now, I've never heard this guy before, and I should never talk good about anybody who's making a complete idiot of himself. He's not even 40 years old, and you think he knows more than players. If somebody's playing bad, you don't bench him. Like, Bedard has done so much for hockey. So André Tourigny, can't even spell Sevigny correctly, is the head coach of the new Utah team. Now, he previously served as head coach of the Arizona Coyotes, as an AC for the Ottawa Senators and the Colorado Avalanche. He was put in charge of Team Canada at the Worlds. Now, Connor had a very good start to it, but like I said, broken jaw in the regular season, a long campaign, close to a point-a-game pace, with a very rough year with Chicago. Now, just to give a little bit of background, you tell me if this guy is qualified to bench Connor Bedard, okay? Now, born in Nicolet, Quebec, he served as a head coach and general manager of the Rouyn Huskies of the Q between 2002 and 2013. He was also assistant coach for the Canada's men's national junior hockey team at the World Under-20 title event in 2010 and 11, helping the team to win a silver in both 2010 and 2011. Now, on June 24, 2013, Tourigny opted to pursue an NHL coaching career and accepting an assistant coaching role for fellow former Q coach Patrick Roy of the Colorado Avalanche. After 2 seasons with the Avalanche as their primary defensive coach, Tourigny, seeking a head coaching position, resigned from the position on May 17th. Now, he was made AC of the Senators and eventually fired some 11 months later as an AC. Now, on May 2nd, 2016, Tourigny signed a 5-year contract as head coach of the Halifax Museets of the Q. He was the ninth head coach in franchise history. Now, in June 2017, he left the Halifax Museets after 1 season and joined the Ottawa 67s of the OHL to become the head coach and vice president of hockey operations. He became the ninth head coach in 67's history. Now, on July 5th, 2018, he was named head coach of Canada's men's national under-18 ice hockey squad for the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, where Canada took home the gold. Now, following a 50, 12, and 16-6 record and franchise record-breaking 106 points, he was named the OHL Coach of the Year after coaching the 67s to a first-place finish in a regular season and an Eastern Conference Championship, where the 67s set the OHL record for 14 straight wins to start a playoff since the conference playoffs format was introduced. He followed that up with his second OHL Coach of the Year with a 50, 11-1 record and 101 points prior to the OHL season being cancelled. The 67 set a franchise record for consecutive wins of 15 and yet another first-place finish in the OHL regular season standings. For his efforts, Tourigny also took home the CHL Coach of the Year. Now, during the 2020 season, he served as an assistant coach for the Canadian junior national team at the 2020 World Junior Ice Hockey Championships, where he took home a gold medal. Again, named the head coach for the 2021, and then signed a 1-year contract by Hockey Canada to serve as either head coach or assistant coach in various international competitions. Now, on July 1st, 2021, he was named as head coach of Arizona Coyotes on a 3-year contract. He retained the role once the Coyotes hockey operation transferred to Utah. Now, the idea, ladies and gentlemen, okay, let's be completely transparent here. He's a good coach in the Q, yet to be determined in the NHL because he's finished 3 seasons with Arizona. They only have averaged 30 wins a season. And of course, that disastrous 21-22 campaign, 25-50-7 this year, a little bit of improvement, but still 7th in the Central. Now, does that give him the ultimate right to say to Connor Bedard, I'm going to bench you? What type of shit are you doing playing mind games as basically just a long-time OHL and Q coach, lucky to get in the NHL as a head coach, may not remain head coach? Where's the response from the public about benching the best 18-year-old player in the world just because he's an 18-year-old? Are you expecting him to be... Gretzky was petulant, okay? Lemieux was petulant. Guy Lafleur was petulant. That's what snipers and scorers do. Connor Bedard bleeds Team Canada. He broke a jaw this year, came back from that major injury and gave it his all to try to help Chicago. I know it wasn't the best season. But this guy was a no-name before he benched Connor Bedard. I couldn't find him on the list. Now let's put this in perspective. Would Patrick Roy, if he was coaching Team Canada, bench Connor Bedard over a couple of bad games? This is at the Worlds. I was watching the game with a bunch of buddies, and we're saying, where the hell is Connor Bedard? Czechia, obviously, we're still going to make the quarterfinals. The game, not say it was worth enough. But in the third period, if Connor would have scored, do you have to basically treat him like Pierre LaRouche? Because he tried the same fucking mind games with Pierre LaRouche in Pittsburgh and in Montreal, and LaRouche, despite all that, you need players like him, and he's a playmaker. Besides, he has the aspect of Pierre LaRouche. He's got a great passing ability. Now, can I ask you a question? If Team USA would have benched Cole Caulfield after a long season with Montreal, how much press would we at there? So this guy's decision, even me doing a podcast today, I wanted to give this idiot the benefit of the doubt. You do not bench Connor Bedard for being tired. You bench Connor Bedard. This is the World Championships, okay? There are the gut victories at the start of it. He played a lot against the lower teams, not as much against the higher teams. That's no problem. Give him a few shifts here and there. But to bench him completely, and he played in overtime. They were lucky to win in overtime. They were way ahead of Czechia. They tied it up. And Connor scoring a goal like Pierre LaRouche would score. You can't teach a coach to show respect for a player unless he had it out for him previously because he was in the OHL. I think this guy had it out for Connor Bedard. He was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for something. And he said, oh, well, I'm Team Canada coach. I know it is. You are a failure, sir. If I ever meet you in public one of these days, I'm going to say to you, do you try to make people forget about Mark Crawford not using Gretzky on the shootout in 98? You, sir, have made the most idiotic decision at an international event since Mark Crawford. To bench Connor Bedard, you have to basically explain to us in the East Coast media why you did it. If you have an explanation that makes any sense, I'd like to hear it. By the way, buddy, Gardner McDougall could do 10 times a better job than you can ever do because Gardner's won everything. He never lost a fucking game this year, by the way. You should not be there next year. You should not be head coach of Utah. Gardner McDougall should have your job. He knows how to treat players. He's a gentleman. You're a complete idiot. I'm sorry that you're an idiot because like I said, I never heard of you before and I don't want to hear about you again. If you bench another player like that, if you get a great player with Utah, you bench him like that, are you going to treat them the same way? Asti tabarnak, man. Hey, c'est pas dit ça en français. Toi, Québécois qui fait ça, c'est pas grand dans l'Acadie, monsieur. Have a good one. Bye.